become a smart business with IoT, cloud integration for real estate. I'm your host today. My name is Archie Sal, and here with me today is our guest speaker, Jerry, Victor, and Del. Hi, it's great to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so without further ado, let's go over our agenda today. So to begin with, I'll present how can real estate use SOT. And after my presentation, Jerry will show you the cloud integration solution for real estate industry and do you a live demo, create your first IoT project. So after that, we'll have a quick Q&A session. But during the whole presentation, if you have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A box and insert your questions, leave a message, and of course, you're welcome to chat with us in the chat box. So let's start now. IoT. So IoT technologies are destined to disrupt all industries, and real estate is no exception. From a business value standpoint, we can expect many potential values. So we can expect greater safety. Access control limits the entry into residential buildings, office buildings, and commercial spaces, usually with authorized credentials that can unlock a door. And mounted cameras inside the buildings help security teams to see what's happening in key areas, while alarm systems can deter criminal activities and notify personnel of a breach. Alarms can be directly connected to door locking mechanisms or triggered by certain events on the property. And we can expect greater efficiency. In general, lighting is 35% of total energy consumption for a building and is the second largest next to HVAC. By integrating your lights and sensors, you can execute an energy saving strategy adapted to circadian rhythm and weather conditions to maximize the efficiency of electricity usage. So as for household, according to various estimates, smart appliances can save up to 15% on energy bills as the devices optimize the use of electricity or heating capacity. So users can control many aspects of their home from a centralized or remote location for more convenience and time saving. And next, we can expect greater customer experience. IoT applications inside residences, hotels, and office buildings would seem like science fiction just a few years ago, but it's happening now. Motion sensor switches lights on automatically only when a person walks into the building. Temperature sensors know when to adjust the heating, for example, when they detect an open window in the entrance hallway. And mobile apps serve as control hubs which connect users with devices and to manage IoT. So smart home provide an additional competitive advantages on the market and allow the developers to increase the cost and class of residences while improving comfort and safety at a small cost. So we see the following trends. The professional rental market is actively using technology platforms. According to Deloitte Consulting Company, 52% of real estate rental and purchase services currently use digital technologies, and 22% plan to adopt them shortly. The developers of business class and luxury housing have begun to introduce smart home solutions at the stage of construction. So it's time to act now and fast, but there are headaches. So out of all these network protocols and brands, and how do you know you can put them together and make them play nicely with each other? And you might be wondering, is it possible to manage all these devices on a single or integrated platforms efficiently? And the key question is, how can I deliver ultimate customer experience? Is it just an app, or is there something more? So this is where Tuya Smart comes to play. So Tuya IoT Cloud Platform provides network modules or MCU SDKs to help developers develop smart devices quickly. And we also opens up API capabilities such as device management and data analytics. So developers can create application solutions for different industries such as elderly care, education, healthcare, agriculture, etc. And altogether, these application solutions form our industry ecosystem. So you can see this is the all interconnected. So you can see here, powered by Tuya. Powered by Tuya is a label that shows interconnectivity. So devices can interact directly from different brands and categories and can be controlled by just one app. So currently we have over 100,000 smart devices powered by Tuya all over the world. So this is how our hardware ecosystem can solve your first headache. So, and these are the business we empowered by our technology. And many brands you may be very familiar with. So, and based on our IoT PaaS technology, we have developed SaaS solutions across different industries, such as commercial lighting, hotel, apartment, security, and community. And for you, cloud integration is your go-to option. So, and our guest speaker today, Jerry, will show you how we can help you transform your business into a smart one on our Tuya IoT cloud platform. So here's just a little case study. This is a BRC is one of our important customers. And this is some highlights from the project we've done together. So BRC can manage and configure all IoT devices powered by Tuya, which are developed by BRC after integrating by using app SDKs. So the solution of Tuya devices connection becomes the BRC IoT device connection standards. So, and our gateway OEM solution achieves one-touch gateway product OEM without further development. Meanwhile, Tuya provides gateway SDK development, which allows BRC to develop additional applications themselves. If you would like to know more about this project, you can reach out to us and maybe we can discuss it more in detail after the event. So on a closing note, I'd like to reiterate our vision for a smarter world, all categories, all industries, and all services. So this is my presentation, a little introduction to our topic today. And let's meet our speaker. So Jerry is our overseas key account solution manager, and he's the expert in cloud integration and SDK integration. So he has served so many key clients for Tuya Smart, and today he will be showing you our IoT cloud integration solution and give you a live demo with the help of our colleague, Victor. So just a quick reminder, if during the presentation, if you have any questions, please leave a message at the Q&A column, and our colleague, Dell, will be answering question shortly. And after that, after all the demo and presentation, we will have a quick Q&A session so we can talk, we can share, we can communicate. So, yep. Yuri.
Okay. So still, thanks a lot for Archie's brief introduction. It's my honor to be here, and I'm so glad to have you here as well. So I would like to have a little bit introduction for myself, if I may. My name is Jerry, and I'm the Key Account Solution Manager in Tuya. which is focusing on to give the consultant and the solution design for the customer, of course, including the cloud-to-cloud solution. So my presentation today will include 4 parts mainly. A little bit introduction about the cloud architecture, a little bit introduction for the cloud safety, and then we're going to talk about the cloud-to-cloud integration solution, and the last part will be a live demo, which will be assisted by my colleague Victor as well. All right, so before my presentation, here are some information I think I would like to put a little bit emphasis on the global data centers in the current stage where we have. There are 5 overseas data centers located at different countries, like the Oregon in American West, the Virginia in American East, the Frankfurt in the middle of the Europe, the Amsterdam in the Western Europe, and the Bombay of the South Asia. Besides of that, we also have the domestic center at the East of China and the original compliance center in Russia. Such DNS and the CDN deployment so far just give us the service to be faster and higher availability for sure. And such global deployment strategy from Tuya is able to have a rapid response eventually. There's one of the terminology here which we would like to mention a little bit is the average response time. Everybody's talking about the response time, and it means the average response time between the data centers as well as the delay in the network. And of course, it will be varied by the different regions and the regulations for sure. Here is some highlight. The figure here, which we called, is about like 18 milliseconds. It's the average response time between different data centers. And the devices on Tuya Cloud is more than 100 million. And active devices are above 75% monthly. All right, let's get started to have a little bit glance of the cloud architecture. So from the technical perspective of Tuya Cloud, it is actually a microservice architecture, which is able to be extended freely. And from the architecture diagram, you see the OS layer. It includes the edge computing gateway and also the acceleration service on it. And then we're talking about a little bit above. It's a DOS layer as well as data processing layer, which is in charge of the data assignment and data storage and so on. And then to above of that, it comes to the microservice. It's for business. That's what we are talking about, the microservice from Tuya. It is the application layer, you could imagine. And all the SaaS business or function logic or the app, whatever, are generated from this layer. So we can talk about, we can regard this as Tuya IoT platform that you will be using. So the IoT platform from Tuya is a kind of a website. So it's a web page, and you can log in, you can register it, and then go into it. Then you can find that you have a different option to select. For example, you can create your own product. You can create your cloud project. You can create your own app and so on and so on. So this is the way that you're going to use in the future. And from the application perspective, the cloud architecture from Tuya, the bottom part is the edge layer, of course, that you are using a lot of different IoT devices and products, the smart products, and they will be connected to the edge computing gateway by several different communication protocols. And then the data will be passed to the PaaS layer. And afterwards, by utilizing the combination of the big data algorithm and the AI technology, the SaaS operation platform will be created. And then you can use such platform to build your own application like the IoT devices, the cloud project, the app, and so on. That's what I'm talking about before. Okay, the second topic is about the cloud safety. I would like to mention it because I think it is also one of the vital parts by using the cloud technology, of course, we are responsible for all this kind of safety perspective for our own cloud. So cloud safety, it's a quite big topic, and it's a comprehensive word. And it includes many protection systems, actually. And it's a kind of like ability of the risk protection and anticipations, like the firewall or the anti-DOS ability and so on. So in general, Tuya Cloud Safety includes 5 parts, which you can see from the orange rectangle. The first one is the real-time log analysis. It's the ability of monitoring and the supervision, which is able to anticipate a risk of the data abnormality. The second one is the deep instruction prevention. It's kind of like ability of the firewall, you can imagine. And then the third one is the risk perception. It's including like the completed ability of the risk exploration. So you can explore what kind of risk it is on the network at the moment and so on. And the fourth one is the safety management system. It's just like to control the user permission and ability authentication. The last one is the business risk control. So we claim to the market as well, and which we can prove as well, that this kind of ability is the same as the finance level. I'm sorry, and the entire availability is almost like a 99.9%, is really high. And for this part, it's about a privacy, because I think that the privacy also one of the very important thing for the data usage by using the cloud technology as well. So based on the entire protection of the privacy lifecycle, there are 5 parts which you can see from the slide. And the key principle of the classification of the data privacy and generation is, to respect and to comply with the data owner legal rights. So the legal rights is always the number one, including the definition of the legal terms and the authentication, data minimization, right to know, but also the user has the right to access and the right to be forgotten. So there are 5, different kind of rights and different perspectives that I would like to mention a little bit. The first one is the right of access. So the user, of course, is able to access their data, which collected by Tuya from the app, for instance. The right to be forgotten is that the user has the right to delete or deregister their account. And a data transfer, we are using the AES 128 to encrypt the data and eventually desensitize to export it without any impact of the application purpose. And the whole link is using the TLS 1.25 protocol to encrypt the communication protocols like HTTP or MQTT and so on. And about saving the privacy data, we use the distribution storage technology to store the sensitive data and to supervise them centralizedly. And the last one is to destroy the private data, which means that the owner, he has the right and the permission to delete by maybe like the app or from the platform and so on. And by the way, that we can mention a little bit that the Trust Arc is the audit organization which we are using and cooperating as well. Also, this organization is also cooperated with Apple and IBM and so on. And these are just some of the certifications that we already had. So the third part, it's the cloud-to-cloud integration solution, and I think this is also quite interesting for all of you guys. We summarized some of the scenarios from the market, and in the end we think that there are probably 3 different solutions we can introduce to the market in terms of this integration. In the end, what we are willing to achieve is that it doesn't matter if you have an app or you don't have an app. Well, in the end, if you have a cloud or you don't have a cloud, that we would like to make your whole IoT solution to be online, to be available in the market. So from this topology, it's quite apparent and obvious that we as a Tuya Cloud, we are able to connect it with the different devices by different protocols like the NB-IoT or Zigbee or Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or BOE, SIGMEsh and so on. So that is our goal, to combine all the things together. And in the end, Tuya Cloud is the heart, is the key as well. So I would like to mention 3 different solutions for now. And the first solution what we are talking about is OEM app, which is the simplest mode. So one of the examples that the customer could think about to use this solution is that you don't have an app, you don't have a cloud, and you also don't have any kind of like user account system at all. But you have an app, and you have a kind of expectations to release your own IoT solution to the market. So what you're going to do is that you just need to go to our IoT platform, register, and then on the left side, you will see the app icon. Just go in there, and then you can start to play around with this platform, and you can create your own app. It's very simple. Just upload your favorite logo picture, select some, the panels and the style of the panels by, we provide several different templates and so on. So you can just select the one, and then in the end, you can just click it and test it, and then you can release it. The entire procedure, I would say, less than half an hour, you can just have your own app. It's very simple. And the biggest advantage for using that is that you don't need any R&D team to be involved. It's very simple. And of course, just like one-stop shopping. So just boom, you have it. That's all. And from the second solution, I would like to introduce later on. The second and the third one are in the same category, but they do have the difference. But you have to really think about the scenario carefully, that why and how would you like to use this solution. And the second one we called here is the full SDK integration, or home SDK. So sometimes you heard the Tuya colleagues to say about like home SDK. It's actually the same thing. So imagine you do have your own user account system, or maybe you are a network operation company, for example. You do have your own user account system, and you already have an app which is already done some functions for other IoT stuff, or maybe something else, I don't care. And you would like to have another integrated module inside of your app to be enable such IoT applications. So how would you like to do it? Then we are introducing the second one and the third one. The home SDK, or the full SDK, includes a lot of different functions, like the network pairing, the upgrade management, the home management, smart SIM management, and so on. So basically all these kind of functions inside of the app are involved in this SDK. So which means that if you are using this SDK, you don't really need to develop something else, most of them that you don't need to do it, but it just referred to this SDK, mostly you're done. But there is one condition, is that you do not really care about the size of the SDK package, because the full package is quite big, but of course includes a lot of interfaces. This is how you can do it by the second one. And the third one, which we call is the light version, as well as mini SDK integration. There are a very obvious difference between each other, is that the home SDK and the mini SDK, the interfaces are different, which we provided are different. And in the mini SDK, we only have the interfaces for the network pairing, which means the rest of the functions, like the upgrade management, or the smart SIM management, or device control, and so on, these are not involved. And it turns out that this kind of functions has to ask the ability from the customer to do that, as well as that you have to, in another word, you have to have a very strong R&D team to deal with that, because you have a very strict condition or request of using this app or your original app design. So you don't want to use any other third-party design for the smart sync or upgrade management. Okay, fine. Then you can refer to the mini SDK integration. Additionally, besides of that, I'm talking about SDK. We talk about home SDK and mini SDK, but you can see that from even also you can find this information from our official website that we provide a different SDK for the specific products like IP camera in the smart security vertical market, or the sweeper or the door lock and so on. Because those products are not that general or not that basic as the other products like the switches and the lightning system and so on. Just because they, for example, like IP camera, they have some special functions like the streaming and so on. So these are not going to be involved in a home SDK. So for instance, if you have an IP camera project or you have a sweeper vacuum cleaner project, then probably you need to really think about the combination of the home SDK and the sweeper SDK or camera SDK together. So, but yeah, well, once again, you can refer to our website, the developer documentation website, to have a check further if you have any more questions about that. So this is the summarization. Is a little bit, yeah, it seems like complicated, but actually it's not. I'm not gonna put the emphasis on this table, but if you want, you can, take a picture and just have it for yourself. Here is one of the example that I want to show you. This customer is using the home SDK and the sweeper SDK because in the end, this app is mostly used for the user who is going to use the vacuum products. Besides of that, they are also using our panel SDK to make the customize the panel. And it turns out it looks like that. So firstly is the app UI. So when you have it, you just go in there, you have a product listed here. This is, yeah, oh, you have the voice control buttons. And you have more. And then you click it, of course, it's offline. And then you have the different categories of the products listed here. You can select the one that you would like to do to pairing, to use. Go back. And you can log out. And this is the login page, for instance. Okay, and the second one is the panel, how it does look like. So this is the open up or turn it on or off. The auto mode. Find me if you, realize the vacuum somewhere in the home. The gear. Yeah, and you can just select a different time for scheduling your cleaning target or task. It looks like that. All right. So that's pretty much all the oral speaking